Now at 9, the city of Pittsburgh discusses an $80,000 loan for the development of a new bar and food truck park. Plus, KDOT hosts a meeting to gather public input on the future of Highway 69 and get an inside look at the new 911 dispatch center in Miami.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. The city of Pittsburgh today approved an $80,000 loan for the development of a new bar. The loan will go to Blue Spoon Properties, LLC, to transform the old Spicer Adams welding building at 415 East 4th Street into a new bar called the Balkan and Canary Lounge. Officials say it will include a food truck park, a stage and projector screen, and an upscale speakeasy style bar. The money comes from the city's revolving loan fund. One of the concerns brought up during the meeting was parking. Still, the city rejected a request for $10,000 to add parking along Grand Street. Well, today residents and stakeholders gathered at Pittsburgh's Memorial Auditorium to discuss their thoughts about the future of Highway 69. After a freeway project with plans to expand the highway on the western alignment was canceled in 2023, KDOT asked the public to attend one of several open houses and voice their opinion about future plans. KDOT says the plan is to hear opinions, positive or negative, from citizens before they determine the future of US 69.
When we moved forward last year or 2 years ago to try to continue with the upgrade of the freeway, we've heard the public didn't want us to do a freeway anymore, more or less, right? So now what do you want us to do for the Crawford County corridor of the existing US 69 corridor?
KDOT says the purpose of listening to public opinion is to come up with a solution that will increase the safety and functionality of Highway 69 for decades to come. Well, if you missed today's open houses, you have 2 more chances tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Palooka's in Frontenac, and then from 4 to 6 p.m. at Northeast High School in Arma. Well, MoDOT is seeking public input for an I-44 corridor ecosystem study as part of their Forward 44 project. They held a meeting at the Joplin Public Library for residents to give their opinions on a wide variety of topics, from the road safety to traffic congestion and more. The Forward 44 project aims to map out the best path forward to update and improve the road.
One of the things that we hear a lot about I-44 is congestion. You know, we hear about capacity challenges, especially through Springfield area, the Springfield Metro. We hear a lot of challenges with congestion. We also hear about reliability challenges, during certain parts of the day, 44 gets backed up.
For more information, you can head to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us now with a first look at weather.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a nice day for us today. A little bit warmer than what we have seen over the past couple days, but still pretty good. 88 was our high. Average high is 91, so pretty close to where we should be for this time of the year. The record 105 set back in 2011, which is in our top 5 hottest summers of all time. Had the cumulus clouds, had a few isolated little guys in our far southern counties, but most of the night's going to be pretty calm. Again, an isolated shower out there, but temperatures will slowly drop back through the 70s into the upper 60s a little bit later on tonight. I think most of us will bottom out right around 66, 67 degrees for an overnight low. So if we break it down by 11 p.m., 75, 10 a.m., back to 81, plenty of sunshine, a little bit hotter over the next few days. We're going to look at that here in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, Quapaw Nation and the Ottawa County 911 Authority cut the ribbon for their new dispatch center. The new dispatch center uses technology to make their response times faster and more efficient. KOAM's Melissa Alexis shows us.
You can now actually video chat with your dispatcher.
The Quapaw Nation and Ottawa County debuted their new 911 dispatch center in Miami. The new dispatch center uses technology to receive not just emergency phone calls, but also photos, texts, and videos of the emergency.
We can send videos, we can take pictures, we can hide the video if we ever needed to.
With this too, we can also message back and forth, a silent chat, so it won't make their phone or anything go off.
Valerie Barger, the telecommunications manager, says the video information can be crucial for responding accurately to an emergency.
Central Dispatch.
Someone says a vehicle is on fire. So you dispatch that as a vehicle on fire. But what the person didn't tell you is that vehicle is in between two houses. So if you can ask them for video of that, that allows the firefighters to know, hey, that's probably going to be a structure fire within the next few minutes.
With this new system, they're able to receive emergency texts, which benefit people who are in emergencies where they can't speak out loud. This new technology also allows them to pinpoint location of an emergency faster and more reliably.
If they were traveling, we'd get a little breadcrumb, which is just like little dots, being able to follow them wherever they go. With that, in the area that we are, it gives us our first responding agencies.
Taryn Solzing, a telecommunicator at the 911 Dispatch Center, says she looks forward to better serving the community, including those who may have had a language barrier, as their new technology addresses this concern.
Language detection now. So if they were speaking Spanish, it would pop up and it would have translation.
The telecommunications manager says that this new technology allows for faster dispatch time, and she says that in an emergency, every second counts to save a life. Reporting in Miami, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
This collaborative dispatch center is a project between Quapaw Nation, the city of Miami, and Ottawa County. It's the first collaborative dispatch center between tribal and city governments in Northeast Oklahoma. Well, the August primaries are just around the corner and local election officials are getting ready. The Jasper County Clerk today hosted a public test of county voting equipment. Anyone was able to attend the test, which makes sure the equipment, programming, and process for the elections work without failure.
We have two ladies that do the public test, and the reason we do that is we don't want any staff members involved. We want to have a Republican and a Democrat that are actually doing the feeding of the ballots through the machine. We want people to understand that it is not our office telling you that it is accurate and the test is good.
You can find important election dates and deadlines on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. The Dairy Queen in Joplin hosted a pretty cool event today. Children's Miracle Network local champion 8-year-old Vincent Wilkowski stopped by to make a signature blizzard. Now, the Vincent blizzard consists of Oreo and strawberry. Interesting combination. Now, this Thursday, $1 or more from every purchased blizzard from the Joplin location will be donated to Freeman Health System, a member hospital of Children's Miracle Network hospitals. Well, members of 4-H and the FFA are showing off their livestock and hard work this week at the Labette County Fair. Today, exhibitors presented poultry and cattle. The fair is a way for participants to enjoy community engagement.
These kids work really hard at what they do, and it's a long week. Usually it's really hot, and so we want to support them in any way we can.
The fair concludes this Friday with a livestock auction at 4 p.m. Coming up, cutting back on medications.
The CDC is partnering with healthcare providers to try to help Americans take fewer pills. I'm Steve Harrigan in Atlanta. That story ahead.
How many pills do you take every day? Millions of Americans are starting to lose count, creating a new problem experts are calling prescribing cascade. Fox News senior correspondent Steve Harrigan has more from Atlanta.
It's a daily ritual few look forward to, swallowing a handful of pills to help manage medical conditions. But there's been a growing number of healthcare problems related to overprescription in recent years, and now healthcare officials are making a big push to get Americans to reduce their overall intake, saying it is interfering with basic medical tasks like diagnosis.
Even if side effects are happening now, we're not sure which one is causing it, if it's medication related or is it medical condition related.
Overall, 13% of Americans take 5 or more prescription drugs daily. That number shoots up to 42% for those aged 65 and older. Experts call it a, quote, prescribing cascade, with patients sometimes not even aware of what they're taking or why.
Advocating for yourself and having the conversations and just knowing why you're taking any of the medications that you're taking. And anytime anything changes, asking the question why is so important.
Lawmakers on Capitol Hill say part of the problem is funding, pointing out the U.S. spends only $19 per person on public health each year, not enough to educate Americans on the dangers of overprescription.
There's, I think, a serious mismatch between our public health investment and our nation's public health needs.
Some experts say if your daily pill routine is a concern, ask your physician for a medication review. In Atlanta, Steve Harrigan, Fox News.
Well, Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast, and later it's MIAA Football Media Day. We'll hear from Pitt State and Missouri Southern about the upcoming season.
Well, of course, a nice Tuesday for us today. Temperatures a little bit warmer, smidge warmer than what we saw yesterday, but still fairly nice. And of course, we're getting toward the end of July, but we've seen some decent amounts of rain this month. None today, even though we had a couple isolated little thunderstorms. But for the month of July to rack over 5 inches, that is doing pretty good. And today's only the 23rd. We're still about 3 inches behind for the year, but overall, we're looking good out there. Humidity has been sneaking up on us a little bit. Look at our dew points. Dew points are sitting mainly into the mid 60s. This is measuring how much moisture is out there. So that puts us kind of in that sticky range. It's not bad, just a little bit on the sticky side. And that's going to go up as well as we go through the next several days. We had some clouds, a few isolated little tiny thunderstorms, but if we widen the perspective, look at the upper level flow. Still out of Canada. And that's why our temperatures haven't been as hot as what they can be for this time of the year. But we are going to see a few changes as we go down the road. One little wave kicking out. We're going to watch this wave kind of lifts in as we head in toward the weekend. It's going to be weak, but what it should do is give us scattered showers on Friday, scattered showers once again as we head into Saturday. Then as we go into the beginning of next week, unfortunately, that big dome high pressure starts to build back in. That means hot, mainly dry across the region once we get into next week. All right, let's go through the overnight hours tonight. And dipping back mainly into the mid 60s for overnight lows. So still fairly comfortable. Sunshine through the morning hours. We warm into the mid 80s. Once we get into the afternoon, I think most of us right around 90 for an afternoon high. But again, look at this. Hit and miss, isolated, little thunderstorms trying to pop up again as we go into tomorrow afternoon. About 90% of you will stay dry, but you could get a quick downpour if you get stuck underneath one of these thunderstorms. Anything that would form, gone tomorrow night. Then we start Thursday, upper 60s to near 70. As we go through the day on Thursday, a smidge hotter. I think most of us 91, 92, 93 degrees by the time we get into Thursday afternoon. All right, day planner for you tomorrow. 68 in the morning, 85 by noon, high temp of 90. That slight chance for an isolated storm. Heat indices going up a little bit for us tomorrow. Low to mid 90s, mainly mid 90s by the time we head into Thursday afternoon. So it does get a little bit more humid. And then as we head into Friday and Saturday, you can see better rain chances. At least it's still going to be scattered, but at least a little bit more widespread than the ones that have popped up over the past couple days. Let's go 90 tomorrow, 92 Thursday, upper 80s to near 90 Friday and Saturday. Then look how the heat really presses in for us next week.
Love the heat. Area band camps have started tuning up in preparation for the upcoming school year. Today, Wyandotte, Oklahoma hosted its band camp, and we sent photojournalist Ty Parks to hear it all come together.
So this morning we pulled out some music and we took a look at just some stand tunes, just because most of us haven't played over the summer. And we took a look at the national anthem because it's a new version for them. Not for me, but for them. Most for these kids is that they love music, that they feel that this room, band, choir, whatever, is a safe place for them. and that the skills that they learn, the teamwork, the reliance on each other, the ability to follow directions will carry them through life for their jobs, wherever they go once they leave here, they will have those skills.
I participate in band because I enjoy playing and creating music, as well as supporting the school in football and basketball. Quads is kind of a way for me to really get out all the energy I have and still make good music with my friends.
It was my safe place. I was in band starting in 6th grade, and I found my family. It was my tribe.
My hopes for this season is that we can have as much, if not more fun, while still sounding good, if not even better, than previous years. There's always room for improvement, and I believe this group has the talent to do so.
And so I want students to have a place that they can discover who they are, where they belong, what their gifts are, and it's my happy place, and I want to share that.
All right, we'll be diving into other area band camps later this week. Coming up, getting answers to a global issue.
The Flightmare continues as lawmakers demand answers for Friday's global tech outage. I'm Bowen Kadrovich in Atlanta. I have the latest coming up.
Lawmakers want answers from CrowdStrike on the global IT outage. They're telling its CEO he needs to let them know by tomorrow when he can appear before their committees. And they want to know what happened that caused 8.5 million Windows devices to bug out. Fox's Bowen Kadrovich has the latest.
Lawmakers calling on CrowdStrike CEO to testify over the massive tech outage. House Republicans are urging George Kurtz to answer questions before Congress over his company's software update that caused a global Microsoft outage starting Friday, affecting more than 8 million devices. The tech meltdown still causing chaos worldwide. Thousands of flights have been canceled, stranding some passengers for days.
Phoenix. Oh, what a disaster it was. We had to stay out there for like 3 days, I think.
Hospitals, banks, and countless companies were locked out of necessary software for day-to-day operations. The Department of Transportation says it's looking into Delta Airlines as it struggles the most to return to normal capacity after the outage. At one point, it knocked out 1/3 of the carrier's flights.
It's just insane. You know, older people, children, just stuck in these airports, pregnant ladies. Like, I don't know how you can do this.
Some crew tracking systems are still down, making it difficult for Delta to coordinate with pilots and flight attendants. It's Atlanta hub seeing the heaviest disruption, getting swamped by stranded passengers, long customer service lines, and lost bags piling up.
I got here around 9 o'clock last night, but my bags got in at like 2 a.m. on the flight that I was originally booked on.
Delta has canceled over 5,000 flights since the outage began, and that number is even higher when counting the service from their regional partners. In Atlanta, Bowen Kadrovich, Fox News.
Be extra cautious on the World Wide Web. Government officials say hackers are taking advantage of the major tech outage that's been causing grief around the globe. And they say cyber criminals are promoting fake websites that have malicious software, including some with keywords like CrowdStrike. E-commerce giant Overstock.com is attempting a comeback with a new rebranding campaign. The relaunch comes just 1 year after Overstock's new owners switched its name to Bed Bath & Beyond. The owners were hoping to benefit from the bankrupt retailer's name and domain. Company chairman called last year's attempt to rebrand a, quote, fatal mistake, as the changes did not fare well with shoppers. Up next, how NASA is celebrating the 25th anniversary of the Chandra X-ray Observatory. NASA is celebrating the 25th anniversary of its Chandra X-ray Observatory with a never-before-seen release. 25 X-ray images highlight the observatory's silver anniversary in space. The Space Shuttle Columbia launched Chandra into orbit in 1999 to help astronomers get answers to some of space's biggest mysteries. Chandra has explored and brought to light unknown discoveries, including exoplanets and dark energy in space that have surprised astronomers. Beautiful images. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports is coming your way. Vice President Kamala Harris makes her first official campaign stop as a candidate for president. Plus, the director of the Secret Service steps down following the department's failure to stop the Donald Trump assassination attempt.
You're watching the 4 States Most Watched News.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. Vice President Kamala Harris has quickly built momentum. She hopes to take the top of the Democratic ticket since President Biden's announcement he will step aside. Fox News correspondent Connor Hansen has what Harris had to say on her first campaign stop in a key swing state.
The path to the White House goes through Wisconsin.
Vice President Kamala Harris spoke to supporters in Wisconsin just days after Republicans held their convention in the key battleground state.
I pledge to you I will spend the coming weeks continuing to unite our party so that we are ready to win in November.
The vice president has already raised more than $100 million for her campaign since President Biden said he's stepping aside Sunday. She's also secured enough delegates to be the party's nominee and is raking it in key endorsements. Democratic leaders Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer now saying they support Harris at the top of the ticket.
She said she would work to earn the support of our party, and boy, has she done so in quick order.
Soon, Harris will have to choose a running mate, a process that typically takes months. Among those on her reported shortlist are Arizona Senator Mark Kelly and Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, both from key battleground states.
The vice president has a deeply personal decision to make as to who she wants to run with, who she wants to govern with, and who she thinks is prepared to help her lead the nation.
The Democratic National Committee will meet this week to decide how to move forward, but it will likely choose its candidate in a virtual delegate meeting in early August before the convention. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
The director of the Secret Service is stepping down after the security failure that allowed an assassination attempt against former President Donald Trump. Kimberly Cheadle announced her departure in an email to staff. Cheadle appeared before a congressional committee yesterday where she took responsibility for what she called the most significant operational failure in decades.
Can you answer why the Secret Service didn't place a single agent on the roof?
We are still looking into the advanced process and the decisions.
I believe, Director Cheadle, that you should resign.
Cheadle worked for the Secret Service for nearly 30 years. In a statement, President Biden wished her the best and said he would appoint a new director soon. Federal lawmakers today grilled Pennsylvania law enforcement officials about the security failures that allowed the assassination attempt on Donald Trump. Members of the House Homeland Security Committee fired questions at the head of Pennsylvania State Police, as well as the national president of Fraternal Order of Police. Local law enforcement were part of the security effort at the Butler rally, where an armed assassin got within 500 feet of the former president. A bit later, with the Olympics right around the corner, we'll hear from some Team USA athletes about handling the stress of the world stage.
Well, of course, a nice Tuesday for us today. Temperatures a little bit warmer, smidge warmer than what we saw yesterday, but still fairly nice. And of course, we're getting toward the end of July, but we've seen some decent amounts of rain this month. None today, even though we had a couple isolated little thunderstorms. But for the month of July to rack over 5 inches, that is doing pretty good. And today's only the 23rd. We're still about 3 inches behind for the year, but overall, we're looking good out there. Humidity has been sneaking up on us a little bit. Look at our dew points. Dew points are sitting mainly into the mid-60s. This is measuring how much moisture is out there. So that puts us kind of in that sticky range. It's not bad, just a little bit on the sticky side. And that's going to go up as well as we go through the next several days. We had some clouds, a few isolated little tiny thunderstorms. But if we widen the perspective, look at the upper level flow. Still out of Canada. And that's why our temperatures haven't been as hot as what they can be for this time of the year. But we are going to see a few changes as we go down the road. One little wave kicking out. We're going to watch this wave kind of lifts in as we head in toward the weekend. It's going to be weak, but what it should do is give us scattered showers on Friday, scattered showers once again as we head into Saturday. Then as we go into the beginning of next week, unfortunately, that big dome high pressure starts to build back in. That means hot, mainly dry across the region once we get into next week. All right, let's go through the overnight hours tonight. And dipping back mainly into the mid 60s for overnight lows. So still fairly comfortable. Sunshine through the morning hours. We warm into the mid 80s. Once we get into the afternoon, I think most of us right around 90 for an afternoon high. But again, look at this. Hit and miss, isolated, little thunderstorms trying to pop up again as we go into tomorrow afternoon. About 90% of you will stay dry, but you could get a quick downpour if you get stuck underneath one of these thunderstorms. Anything that would form, gone tomorrow night. Then we start Thursday, upper 60s to near 70. As we go through the day on Thursday, a smidge hotter. I think most of us 91, 92, 93 degrees by the time we get into Thursday afternoon. All right, day planner for you tomorrow. 68 in the morning, 85 by noon, high temp of 90. That slight chance for an isolated storm. Heat indices going up a little bit for us tomorrow. Low to mid 90s, mainly mid 90s by the time we head into Thursday afternoon. So it does get a little bit more humid. And then as we head into Friday and Saturday, you can see better rain chances. At least it's still going to be scattered, but at least a little bit more widespread than the ones that have popped up over the past couple days. Let's go 90 tomorrow, 92 Thursday, upper 80s to near 90 Friday and Saturday. Then look how the heat really presses in for us next week.
Not looking forward to that warm-up, Doug. Well, coming up in sports, Pittsburgh State and Missouri Southern preview the 2024 football season at MIAA Media Day. Plus, the Joplin Outlaws hope to continue their hot streak at home. John Dales has those stories and more up next.
It's MIAA Media Day in downtown Kansas City. All 10 schools that are members of the conference in football bring their head coach and a couple players to speak to the media for the first time this season. And Pittsburgh State enters the fall with a new head coach, but the same high expectations.
The senior leadership we have on this team has made this transition of coaching changes and the new offense so much easier. Just credit to the guys and how they've handled everything. And we got a lot of guys that decided to come back this year for their last year, put their lives on hold and come back and say, hey, let's go give it one more shot.
Every year, like you said, is a fresh start, and it'll be different, having Coach Anthony as our head coach instead of Coach Wright. I'm a little biased. Obviously, having a defensive-minded head coach is a little bit more fun for me, but no, he's came in and done a great job for the team. We have a great connection throughout the group, and we're ready to get started rolling into fall camp and then get ready for Fair State.
That group's really special to me. When we got there, when Coach Wright and I got there in December of 2019, that was a group that had just come in. A lot of those guys were redshirt freshmen going into their redshirt freshman year, or guys that were in our first recruiting class, and those guys made the choice to kind of stay with us and buy into our culture and buy into what we're doing. So being able to lean on those guys here is my first time back as a first-time head coach is just kind of a special time for me to get to bond with those guys again.
Meanwhile, Missouri Southern football enters its 5th season under head coach Atiba Bradley. The Lions are looking to turn the corner as a program after finishing with a 5-6 record in 2023.
This is a group that just goes to work. We were commenting like, oh, the summer is almost over. A lot of these guys never left. They stayed, they trained. So the break got really short just because these guys were hungry to get back at it, and that's exciting to see because it's not something I prompted. It's not something our coaches told them. It came internally from the seniors and the upperclassmen, and so it's always a positive sign to see.
I think we're going to be very explosive, something that we've been missing in the past a little bit. I think we got a lot of weapons in the receiver room, a lot of young guys that's going to step up, a couple transfers that's going to make some plays for us. We get a couple guys back on offense. Our O-line has a lot of experience. They'll be a good tested group. And then, of course, we got Luke Sampson throwing the ball, so anytime he's throwing the ball, you got a chance to get it anywhere on the field.
I am really looking forward to how our O-line does this year.
handled business last year. I personally, this might be biased, but I think we're the best in the MIAA. But I'm really ready to see how we come together as a group and how we can push the offense.
Meanwhile, the MIAA football preseason polls also get released this morning. Pittsburg State comes in at the 2 spot in both the media and the coaches poll, behind first place selection in both polls, Central Missouri. Now, Missouri Southern is in the 8th spot in both polls. Then UCM and Pitt State are the only 2 teams to receive first place votes. Joplin Outlaws at home tonight against the Fort Smith Marshals. Winners of 3 in a row are the Outlaws. And one of their newest additions, Johnny Miles, is tonight's starting pitcher. He gets 3 swinging strikeouts in the first couple of innings. No score in the bottom of the 3rd. That's when Rayvon Morgan hits a line drive into right field. Andre Jackson comes all the way around to score from second. Joplin opens up a 3-0 lead. Back to Miles on the mound. In the 4th, he gets another batter swinging. Then, with runners in scoring position, called strike 3, and he has words for the batter afterwards. In the bottom of the inning, Andre Jackson uses his speed that we saw earlier to leg out an infield single on a throw from second base as he dives in safely. Later in the frame, Jackson goes on to score again from 3rd on a passed ball. As we come on the air, they're in the 8th inning at Joe Becker Stadium. The Outlaws lead 6-5. Back to college football real quick, though. I think we have 2 teams in Missouri Southern and Pittsburg State that with their preseason rankings both have something to prove. Missouri Southern down at 8, Pittsburg State at 2, thinking they should be in the 1 spot.
Well, it gives them something to work towards when they're not at 1. When you start off at 1, sometimes
you want to be motivated.
Yeah. You got to have that. Yeah, exactly. You need that motivation.
Of course.
They'll earn it. They'll get it. All right, thanks, John. We're back with more news after this. With the Paris Summer Olympics just days away, members of Team USA are preparing for their moment in the limelight. But all the action can be nerve-wracking, even for professional athletes. Fox News' Gary Baumgarten takes a closer look at how they're handling the stress and what they're looking forward to after they finish competing.
Excitement is intensifying throughout Paris as the countdown to the Summer Olympics grows even louder.
Getting into the village and just waiting for your event and the energy around you.
A flow of athletes and their training staff have already started arriving in the City of Lights, including members of Team USA. With Friday's opening ceremony quickly approaching, experts say all the buzz can make it hard for competitors to concentrate.
Maintaining your focus on the mission itself is really important.
Take a look around Paris and you can see why. With many sports facilities built among iconic French landmarks.
The opening ceremony going down, on the boat, on the river, that will be sweet.
But while athletes will be going for the gold, much of Team USA is also excited about playing tourist afterwards, indulging in all the sights and sounds Paris has to offer, especially the food.
After the games, I will be eating everything, wine, cheese.
I'm really excited that I get to go and play in that bougie environment and just feel like the it girl, And I'm really excited mostly for pastries and bread and croissants.
Those already familiar with Paris even sharing some travel tips.
Some of the little art galleries that you just run into, walking down the street, are some of the best that I've ever been in.
Others, meanwhile, are thrilled to take inspiration from French culture.
We look at fashion and we're like, okay, what can we pull from and what can we add to our crew?
Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
Well, coming up, after Twisters hit big at the box office last weekend, we'll hear from the movie's cast. Twisters made a huge impact at the domestic box office over the weekend. Glenn Powell, Brandon Perea, and Sasha Lane are among the new generation of storm chasers who share why the standalone sequel is great, what makes tornadoes fascinating, and which terrifying phenomena they would rather experience. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin.
Are those fireworks?
Yes, ma'am.
The blockbuster natural disaster film Twisters touched down in theaters, unleashing its jaw-dropping spectacle and whipping up $80.5 million domestically its opening weekend.
I think they nailed it in the sense of new chapter with new characters, and there's little tiebacks to just honor the first film, but it's cool to have a new updated chapter of storm chasing in today's day.
If you feel it! Growing up in Austin, Texas, Glenn Powell understands the fascination and fear surrounding tornadoes.
There's like this simultaneous sense of fear, not fear by the community, but like reverence for what and the power of what this thing can do, but that's simultaneously linked with curiosity, and sometimes being something near something that can make you feel your mortality is like the place where you feel the most alive.
Sasha Lane has weathered through powerful storms in the past, but shares one natural phenomena she would rather experience.
Growing up in Texas, to have witnessed so many different, hurricanes, thunderstorms, hail, all that, it's kind of incredible to witness, but at the same time, I would much rather be like, oh, it's an earthquake. I don't know. To me, it seems a lot more chill.
Chicago native Brandon Perea now lives in Los Angeles and says he's not afraid of living in earthquake country.
What I choose is just like the other nature things that I can go enjoy, like going to the mountains or something, and I think the place that I currently live has a wide variety of all that. Is there a risk of an earthquake? Yeah, but you don't face your fears. You ride them.
We got twins! Twins! In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
I enjoyed the movie. And that's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of a hippo at the Melbourne Zoo in Australia enjoying a spa day. He deserves it. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.